So Mike, this is timelines, and it's like the random recording on Blab, because it'll be there, and your phone rings. Take that. No, that could be a sales call. That's important.
No, I was on the house phone and it was anonymous. So no.
Yep, I learned not to answer those.
They weren't calling me to tell me we made a mistake and you did win the lottery last night.
Yeah, so. Yeah. If it says unknown, unless it's my uncle who's 96. Mm-hmm. That's the only one I know it has unknown in my family. I just don't answer it because usually it's a sales call.
Yeah, I've been so tempted to get rid of the landline, but I have not.
I have not had a landline. Our business had landlines at the wazoo with copper wire and VPN and real high-end phone system. But I have not had a landline in my house for 5 years. It's all cell phones. There's no reason to have one. It's on my cell phone. It's easy.
Yeah, I just like the luxury of, picking it up. And I mean, when I'm sitting at my desk, it's easier to phone. Plus I can throw it on the speaker and I'm not using, for lack of a better word, minutes.
Well, minutes are unlimited now at AT&T. So, and I have the speaker right on my phone. We have nice phones. They're expensive though.
I gotta wonder. I have AT&T and I don't have unlimited. Oh, wait a minute. Hey. I have AT&T for my internet, TV and stuff, not for my phone. I'm on Verizon.
Oh, do you have cable available? You need to get rid of that AT&T stuff. I'm surprised you have this good of video.
Well, I just switched over to AT&T.
From cable?
For my internet, for my Wi-Fi.
That's less bandwidth usually.
Well, I was with Time Warner and all the freebies went away. I had it for a year or two.
Yeah.
And then I said, hey, you guys got to be able to tweak this. And they said no. So I jumped back over to AT&T. So I go back and forth between AT&T and Time Warner.
That's not a bad idea if you want to. You can get to reset your prices and costs if you have patience to do that.
And they're always throwing in a $300 gift card. So
yeah, we have cable, and then it's $60 a month, and that's all we have. And we use wires upstairs on the TV, so we use everything in cable. Oh, I've got something for you. If I can find it, it's huge. Let me go get my phone. I'll be right back.
All right.
Hey, folks, this is this is timelines, but we're always looking, and this is a little break from timelines. I've got Steve on. Don't know if I'll I have backup shows. May not put that on today because we're talking about a little bit of technology, 2 bits of technology that have changed, and something called Pluto. It's Pluto. Let's see. It's Pluto.tv, and it is really amazing. We think it just popped up in the last few weeks. We think it started in Europe, but there's so much on here. I mean, I'm around 800, 900, and the quality of stuff is amazing going through. Here's Katy Perry has got her own channel on Pluto.
Hey, Bill, why don't you change the title and maybe we'll get some more visitors in here. Say Pluto and other neat stuff this week.
So we have Naji coming in, and he's from, we don't know exactly where, but it sounds like he can't hear us, and he's testing out a system. So he just let himself go.
Everything that I've ever done, they gave us the link, so I never had to set one up myself.
What is the best you ever done a membership site?
No, not. I was anything that I had ever done already had, the back end office. So I didn't.
What I'm looking at right now, though, is doing everything through WordPress and finding the very best plugins and systems and processes on a good server, because it's a lot cheaper than going out and buying all these what we call SaaS, software as a service. These are all basically software as a service. You can even do some email work through website WordPress. Relationship.
Yeah, I know my wife was going through that when she was setting up her thing, and I just kept telling her, just use PayPal, and stuff. And
when you start,
like I said, we were oil and water, and I just let her go. She spent a lot of money on all that stuff, and she never used it.
Most people, and I'm somewhat guilty of this initially, is we buy too much crap when we're trying to get into online business.
Yeah.
Because you're always trying to figure out what, everyone's got that cure. And the cure is to go out and learn WordPress and understand the platform really well inside and out and slowly build up, and don't spend. I mean, it just takes time unless you're really rich and can hire a research team or people that have already proven that they've done it. Mm-hmm. Hey, there's Jonathan. Hi, Jonathan. What is the best customer relationship software? I'm going to say CRM. CRM.
Well, if you got the space, you may want to spell it out because people won't know what the heck you're talking about.
So Jonathan, tonight I've got an idea. I was going to call Mike. I was thinking about going down to the meetup tonight at the Collective, which I like to do, and then starting the show, bringing this with me and my laptop and starting the show from down there, because that's where we started the show from originally. WP Tonic was started in a place called the Collective in Reno, Nevada, and they don't get it. They don't realize how much free press they were getting out of that show. And if we like the people. I love the people at the Collective, first of all. It's a co-op work area. It's beautiful. It's all glass. The river's out there. It's a great place down in downtown Reno. It's a good part of Reno. So I was thinking about starting the show here, starting to do the show, and then hand it off to Jonathan to finish it up. Because as long as Jonathan makes sure he does the breaks and goes 7 or 8 minutes between the breaks and no more than 25 minutes in the show. 25-minute podcasts are great. People love 25 minutes. Longer than that, it's not that great. So what is the best CRM? Jonathan said, I can't. He said, please don't say that I word. The I word. IN. The I word. You can't mention IN. He hates that name. So here I'm going to put this customer relationship. What is customer relationship? There's a lot out there, but I do believe that the best place to start in this business is to start blogging. Go back to the basics and blog. I blogged yesterday. I did a blog on SiteGround. By the way, Jonathan, I set up another website yesterday. Now we're at 19. Get this one. It's called Tech, TECH, Tech Media Money. Tech Media Money. Tech Media Money. What if I started a show called Tech Media Money? Tech Media Money. Why? That's a why. Because I could. Because I could. So there's my Tech Media Money. I didn't finish it. I just set it up roughly. You'd start getting a little bit crazy. You know what? You start getting SEO. It's sort of like landing pages. You can turn them into landing pages. So you just sort of put it out there. I need to turn a lot of these websites into landing pages, which is pretty easy to do. You just do a blank front page and you let them sit there. Hey, Jonathan, you haven't seen this yet. Check out Pluto. I should take all these and just turn them into landing pages. This Pluto is unbelievable.
Well, that was my thing, because when we looked at the large insurance companies that are doing all the online stuff, that's all they're doing is it's a nice, attractive page, and then you put your information in.
I mean, what does your that's what you should start doing, just showing people how to do landing sites with just basic WordPress, because most of your traffic is not so great that if you just do I love SiteGround, and if you have one money site, I would say go over to Jonathan and put in even though it's like above my league, is go to DigitalOcean. If you have a big money site, that's going to cost you money each, but it's still cheaper than these other things. It's solid state.
Did you see this?
Oh, the numbers?
Well, it says you lost. Get back to work.
No. Well, that's from what's his name. Yeah, that was good. I didn't want to stay on line to go get a ticket, but 27 is one of my numbers that I always put down if I ever do a number. I haven't done it so long.
Well, I went into the local, gas station here, and the girl behind the counter, and I said, I've always done quick picks. I says, let's pick the numbers. They said, you fill this out. I don't know how to fill these out. Yeah. And if we win, I'll give you 10%. And I'm sure I'm on camera somewhere, so we got it validated.
Contract.
And she did that. This was last week or whatever. And we didn't win. And then I said, you know what? I wonder if this has some value. So I went into a convenience store yesterday, and then it was worth $4. So I said, all right, give me 2 more for last night.
That's good. Hey, the owner of the 7-Eleven in Chino Hills, California, he got $1 million just for selling the ticket.
No, I saw that there were 3, so I didn't see where the other 2 were from, but I saw the Chino, California one.
That's the only one I've seen. Hey, so Kim was on. Kim's shooting me back some email here, and we're talking about forking. Anybody know what forking is? I know what forking is. Here's the question. Do you know what forking is? I'm going to ask that question. Topic. Do you know how to fork? Do you know? I'll tell you in a second. Know how to fork. Fork is amazing. I'll probably get this wrong, but I learned about this at WordCamp. I think it's F-O-R-K, fork. Do you know how to fork? So basically, WordPress it's a DLD, whatever the license is. You can look it up. It's it's open source code. So basically, WordPress says anything that's WordPress, you can use the code and work the code. What you can't do is you can't violate any type of not patents, but copyrights.
Copyright.
Brand.
Copyright.
But the code itself is all good. So what we've been doing, we've been studying for the last 90 days. We did a whole month in WP Tonic about membership sites and plugins. And all of a sudden what's happened is we've watched the cost of the certain type of membership site drop substantially. And what we think is going on now is the code is out there being forked. It means people take the code, they create a plugin, or they create a SaaS product with it, and then they're selling it. Because it's all about the same. It all looks about the same. They modify it slightly. So there's some, but that scary part of that, if you buy one of these low-end cost plugins for your membership site, and down the road it's non-supported, it's not updated, there's not updates on it, you run the risk of having to rebuild that site because it's not supported by the programmers to update the codes, for holes and viruses, things like that. So that's forking. Fork. Do you know how to fork? So I could look up the definition of forking for WordPress.
That is a scary thing for the person that knows a little bit but not enough, is that backside of what can happen if something isn't protected the right way, especially if you are collecting money. I mean, I got in the last 2 weeks, my Discover and a Visa card were
compromised.
Yeah, big money too. Because I'm getting all these phone calls, from Discover, and I'm getting this Visa, and I'm going, what is going on? And they were on it. So I was not.
You need to put this app on. You need to put the wallet app on. You have an iPhone?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That thing tells me when I get a charge for the most part. I'm going to probably stick with American Express almost in everything because they're so good. But I've got a few of my cards on here, and some are better than others. So you can see American Express, I can see everything immediately. I'll charge in a store, and it'll be right there within 10 seconds. Let me shut this down.
The 25 minutes from 5:30 to 6, and then you can go down to your meeting, and I'll just take over the YouTube part of it.
Well, I was thinking that too, but what if I could do, if you could go real early, I could do a timeline with them today, a quick timeline.
No, well, she's busy. And
she.
Right,
the other thing I could do is I could start it.
Be prepared to move it.
I could start it from the collective.
It's totally up to you. I'm just thinking about you. If we only take 25 minutes to record the show, and you'll be down at the collective in 10 minutes. So,
yeah. No, true.
And then I'll just take over the YouTube part and the general discussion part with her. Right.
We could even do the first 10 minutes, and then you could just do, as long as you stop it at 8 minutes and 8 minutes, and just pause. Just all I need is that quiet pause.
I'd rather you be there for the recording part.
Okay.
But how long does it take you to get down to the collective?
I still think I could do the whole show from the collective. I might ask them.
Well, make your mind up, Bill.
Let me call the collective and see if they'll let me do it without charging me. I mean,
I think that would be extremely ungracious of them. You're giving them a lot of plugs.
Yeah, they got a lot of free, but I don't know if they get it or not. Isn't that sad?
Like that's our nicely
collective area, and they could I could be doing my podcast.
I'll say nicely, but get back to me by midday because I have to email Annika and tell her that we moved it 15 minutes. Otherwise, we record it at the collective. Right?
From what I know now, I could. Okay.
What you need to ring up Anne and ask her if one of the little conference rooms are free, so you can do the recording in the conference room. I
think I could do it without even a conference room with a dynamic mic. With what I know, how to use the mic, and this little light right here, this one light. I mean, I could use a conference room too, but I'd love to do it in the open where you have people come in and say hi real fast.
I'd rather not, because Annika's agreed. I don't want Annika to feel she expects the interview, and that's what I've agreed with
you
her.
still do the interview, but I think it's the interview.
I'm just feeling for the interviewee. She's a busy lady, and she expects. And if you're going to go down the collective, I think it'd be fine. But it'd be best if you find out if you could use one of the conference rooms for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
I could do that from there too. I could do the whole. I could do it from the conference room. We could do a little outside, pause it, come in, and then start the pot. I'll play around. Let me think today.
After the recording, if you want to move it into the general area and have the people of the meetup join us, I've got no problem with that. I think it would be fun. But for the interview, I think we need to keep in mind the interviewee's time, and she's a busy lady, Will.
That makes me think. I could set this up. People down in Carson City, they want to do. Why don't they hook in with your podcast? They could get some PR.
They don't even know what the word podcast means.
Well, netcast. They could get some PR from down there.
They definitely don't know what a netcast is.
I mean, how can they not? How can people be in technology in this area and not know that? I bet there's some money to be made because people don't understand it. Yeah, let's talk.
Right, I've got to get on with some work, Bill. But
I did too.
What I'll do is text you around midday to see if you contacted Anne and find out what you're up to. All right?
Okay. You see my fork question? Let me show ask Jonathan about forking. So, one last change in the topic. What do you want me to put for topic?
We could just go back to the Periscope and Twitter.
Now, how about what's new in tech?
Okay.
New in tech. Let's see how that does.
Now, well, I'll wait till you.
New in tech. No. What's that word? I got the new one. New in. What is it?
Because you've got the recording button on here now.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
So, new in tech.
No, it's because I was going to say I do a lot on LinkedIn, and I can and I changed my I have an automated message that goes out when somebody connects with me. It's very short. Hey, what are you doing on the internet? How techie are you? What have been some of your hurdles, so on and so forth. And then I'll say, hey, are you blabbing? Almost to a person. They go, what's blab? Or no, I haven't. So
that's amazing.
And that's in the LinkedIn space. And then let me take it one step further. You're going to have these overly cautious people where this one lady said, well, I need to go in and find out before I subject my client to blab, because how are they protected if something is negative that's said during a blab? Okay.
If you're on the street, if you're walking down the street and somebody says something negative to you, what do? Same thing.
She goes, how do they protect themselves? And I said, I guess you want to go and attack, go in the direction it's headed. Say, hey, what's the problem? How can I make it good? I don't know. And I've even had people, I said, hey, let's hook up and we'll do a quick blab. Well, I got my schedule's really busy this week. I said, okay.
Yeah, it's strange. Podcasting is really grown. And podcasting's pretty strong still. She's back at the end. Hi, Arlene, you're back. She's back. So anyway.
Yeah, so I don't get it. I was talking to my wife another thing, but people. 10-15 reasons not to. Well, let me just take that back to the insurance world. You can give the guy the best ideas in the world, and they won't take advantage of it. Only a small percentage will take advantage of it. And part of it is they have to change what they're already doing. They have to make it. They're already in a good or bad. They're doing something, with their day. So now what you're telling them is, okay, now I have to change something, and people are always very resistant to change, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, whereas I saw blab, I saw this other stuff, I saw. Weavy or YV or whatever. I said, hey, let's jump in and see what's going on here.
No, I agree. You have to do that. You also have to figure out how to make money though too.
No, I said that's where you got to pull back and say, okay, I'm going to check this out, let me see what we can do, and then peel it back. And
my link didn't link. Let's see what's wrong with it. There it goes. I just put Arlene. I just put the link up for scheduling a timelines interview on Blab. That's why I think one of the best places to find people to interview are actually on Blab or on iTunes. I've done a lot of new interviews. The last 3 interviews I did on Blab, people have never been on Blab before, and they did well. I just use this as a recording platform. I might put up an old Skype one I did in Skype that I never put up today. I might put it up to show the quality of Skype. Skype is actually pretty good. It's semi-high definition. Well, I guess I have to go into making courses, and we have everyone tonight live on Blab, WP Tonic. If you find it, the number 2 show was the number 2 show in WordPress. We're at 7 or 8 now. I need to tell that to Jonathan. We will be up tonight live from somewhere. See, I don't even feel like hassling going down and talking to these collective people. It's a really nice place to work about why they should let us do the netcast from there, because it gives them free media. But if they understood what I just said, they do their own netcast once a week, and they put it out there, and they actually they should do the WordPress. They should do a WordPress. Every meetup should have some type of a netcast associated with it before you go into the meetup. This is what we're going to talk about. This is what we're doing. Here's who's going to be speaking. And here's the person speaking, and then we're going to do the meetup on Friday. So there should be some, every week, if you do a meetup, you do an interview. That's the problem is, you probably noticed that around your local community. This technology is worldwide, yet within your city, very few people actually use it probably.
Well, let's just peel back to the original kind of closed circuit. You'd see the city council meetings on a closed circuit TV. So I think the thought process is there, but and why wouldn't they want to jump on this? Just right there. Why wouldn't your local community have a live Blab? The reception certainly is a lot better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know why they don't do it. Why doesn't a politician, a councilman, come up every Friday and answer questions for the community? I mean, it's Twitter. How many people have said, "Oh, I just don't get Twitter." I just don't get. It's not too hard to get, and it started with intellectuals and news media, people,
right.
and press. I mean, they use it, and there's always something new to Twitter. I'm not an expert in Twitter, so Jonathan says, "Why don't you put me on the drug interview?" Basically, we did an interview, and it was for WP Tonic, and he was all drugged up on cold medicine, really bad. And it's like I'd have to do so much editing on that show, it would knock my socks off. So I could do it. I might. I've got a bunch I can put up of shows that never were, like the secret show. I do have an interview tomorrow though. I really like my what I was doing now is I'm on Blab till about 10:30. Open it up, and then I don't do my editing right away. I do my editing after dinner, and I really like that because I go in. I actually learn more about the person I interviewed. And I said, "Wow, I wish I knew this before I interviewed him." Because after I listen to it and after I pull everything together to do show notes, it comes out well. Sometimes I do the show notes the night before as a way to do it. In fact, I think I might do that. I'll put something up tonight on iTunes. But I guess I should show you my trick. I'm trying to find people who are already making, this will probably be tough, but people who are already making really good money on iTunes through marketing. And then having them come on and do like 5 shows with me about what they're doing, and then the next person, because ideally that would lead more people into that topic.
Well, that's like what that Jonathan Tribb said about what he's doing with the interview tomorrow, and he said, "I suspect I'm going to get we're going to have a large show because this guy is going to send it out through his channels that he's doing an interview about YouTube." So
I always know when someone sends it out. Because I can tell in the numbers, and someone doesn't promote it and someone promotes it. You can always tell. I get a spike, and then it comes back down to your normal audience.
Mm-hmm.
So my shows, the top show I've done is 450 on a podcast, which is not huge on numbers, but it's okay. But Blab, the number 1 show I did was, I didn't realize we were up there on the featured site, but when we got the 2,700 downloads.
Yeah, no, you guys were after Sunday show.
I never saw that. I pay attention, but I wondered. It was Monday.
When you open it up and it's kind of fogged out, a little bit.
Yeah, Monday morning is when we had the Monday mornings when I saw the 2700. And that was just the day after. So I'm sure the same thing's going to happen again. Maybe not, but this is going to be a really good show this Sunday night. Sunday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, not or actually 5:30 we sort of get together, but 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern is a good time on Sundays. I think that's a good prime time.
Mm-hmm.
Now think about it. What's prime time for TV? That's going to be the same prime time for Blab.
Right, 9, 10 o'clock. Yep.
That's prime. Is it 9, 10 at night? Is that the primest of times?
Right.
8 to
It
10?
took me a few years to get adjusted because being central, everything was 10 o'clock. Here, all of your news and everything is on at 11. So your last primetime show is at 10. And I said, man, who sits up and watches it this late? I mean, that's why I didn't watch the Lettermans and stuff because they were on at 11. Then it was pushed to 11:10, 11:15. It kept getting pushed back.
Yeah, this is a good idea. Jonathan, Mixer G is a good show, is really go after the high-end people. I was doing that in podcasting. I actually interview the very top technicians in podcasting, the people behind the scenes who really make podcasting work. But I think the time, I'm more and more think the time is important. If you can do a Blab at night and then edit it that night before you go to bed, it's hard to do, and get it up for the next day on iTunes, that would be a good time. I need to move my time. But here's the other problem is the people I interview are business people, and it's socially at night they're doing stuff.
Sure, yeah.
So unless they have a microphone set up in their home. So, but night's not bad.
Have you done any where the person was on their phone the whole time?
I've done a podcast like that. I did my very first podcast, which came out pretty darn well. First of timelines is Earl Conrad. He was in Guadalcanal, and it was done with a speakerphone. It came out really well.
Because I don't know, as far as the wind and stuff in the background.
Wind. You don't have wind in your house, hopefully.
Well, I said if they're busy, they may be in their car. Who knows?
Well, if it's a high enough in person, you're going to do it anywhere. You're going to have a hurricane. You're going to do it.
Right. So I'm saying, as far as what it sounded like, because that's the beauty of these phones. They're so good. You don't have to be necessarily sitting behind a computer.
I can
especially if you're a guest. If you're running this show, I don't think I'd trust to be on my cell phone, but.
There's my first show. If you ever get time to look at least the blog page, is a pretty good one. That's my uncle, 96 years old and still dances. Great life, amazing life. Retired at 50 years old.
That's what my grandfather did. And I think when did he die? 86.
Yep.
So
yeah, you sort of do. iTunes is the only place I know you can actually make money on marketing. And I'm going to drop in iTunes uses. You can put in iTunes. You can put the ads. iTunes. Ad agencies come to you in iTunes. It's hard to explain. So I'm trying to answer her question here. Yeah, you can make money on iTunes. That's the only place I know you can make money. If you're in the top 150, all those guys are making over 100,000. And a lot of folks in the top 500 are making 50,000. Through marketing. Mark Maron. Let me find. I've got to find this. iTunes, my notes. iTunes media. What did I put on media? I'm trying to find the links to. These are really important links. There's my Blab checklist. Actually, I could still do, anytime today I could do an interview. Arlene, how would you like to do an interview today in timelines? Go and look at watch a timeline. Just, call me up. I can do an interview anytime today.
Oh, gosh, darn it.
Let me see.
Shoot.
I can't do one tonight because I got a WP tonic. WP tonic will be up on Sunday. It's not as. So where is that stuff? This is driving me nuts. No, I got to find this stuff. So if you go to, I know by memory, podcast. Oh, I know how it is. They sent me an email, podcast. Here's one way. This is owned by Westwood One, owns Podcast One. If you're on this channel, if they bring you into this channel, they give you the marketing, and I think they take 20% of the marketing. But these are some of the top podcasts. These people are all making big money. We're on that link I just put on there, and that's Podcast One, owned by Westwood One, and they probably take 20% marketing, and it's he's exploring and learning how to get into this world. You'll see they have some really top names in there, and they get rid of people too. They had Ron Paul. He wasn't getting the numbers he needed.
Really?
Yeah. Art of Charm. I've interviewed the Art of Charm folks. They're 3 days a week. That's a lot. By the way, Art of Charm, Arlene, is what you do basically. Listen to Art of Charm. Let me pull this up here. Art of Charm. Where'd it go? Art of Charm. It's Truth Podcast One is one of the syndicated shows. This is one of the top shows in the country. He's probably making over 100,000 just on advertising, at least 100,000. And let's see, Jordan Harbinger. Let me get his interview. I interviewed him on Timelines before he got famous. He's still famous, but Jordan, J-O-R-D, Jordan. I'm going to pull up his timeline here. Here it is, Jordan. So here's Jordan Harbinger, Art of Charm, and I've evolved since this podcast. So I've interviewed him. He sends me a note every once in a while. So that's his show, and that's my old format too. I used to ask, "Are you a Mac or PC?" My show. And that's, younger people said, "What's that mean?" No, I don't get it. What are you talking about?
Are you drinking the Kool-Aid or not?
You drinking the Kool-Aid? Any Kool-Aid lately? So I should be able to find it here under sent. I cannot believe the other one to look at. I should have shown this to Jonathan. Let's see, Jason, Kimberly, Jonathan, Omar Zenhome, Michelle, Josephine. Here you go. This is what I was looking for. Josephine directory. Oh, I need to definitely tag this one. This is mid-roll. So here's mid-roll. You asked about how you make money on podcasting. This is mid-roll. These are the number one people. If you can get with mid-roll, you'll get a lot of money. You can show who this is who advertises on podcasts. I mean, they won't even mess with me. Book your campaign today. So this is mid-roll, and if you're on this mid-roll list, you're making really good money. These are, and you can also see the art. These are the successful people making a lot of money on podcasts. And mid-roll is the marketing agency. They take 20%, and they send you the commercials. 99 Designs. Let's see. Our shows. Here's the advertisers. So the advertisers on podcasts, the big ones are HBO, NatureBox, LegalZoom, Slingbox, USA, Squarespace, Hula Plus, Audible, Cards Against Humanity. I don't know what that is. Linda. Those are just a few. I know 99 Designs is one of them. That's not all of them. Case Study. It's a pretty good site, mid-roll, to look at how this all works. I got to connect mid-roll onto my site as a source. That's one thing I do, Mike. I've got so many websites. If I want to remember something, I'll put it in like on Netcasting 101. I've got links about courses. So I'm not sure where I'd put this mid-roll as marketers. I could put it on Podcaster's Home. So Podcaster's Home, and go. Need to make Podcast Home because I'm only typing. So links. I could put a mid-roll link. That's what I need to do. Put mid-roll link on there. You ever get LastPass? You ever put LastPass in?
No, I have not.
You need to put that in. Just put it in and just put like one password on it.
Yeah, I know.
And just sign up for some goofy thing and sign up for goofy stuff and start playing with it. You'll never go back.
Yeah, who is it? There's a guy. His name is Dotto. Steve Dotto.
Steve Dotto. Yeah, I know Steve Dotto.
Yeah, I've watched a couple of his. I mean, he puts up some good stuff, and one of them is he's a big LastPass person.
Steve Dotto is a great guy. He's doing.
Oh, I got to meet him in person and did not know essentially who he was. I mean, he presented. I went to a Kim Garst event, and he was one of the presenters. And then kind of found out afterwards. And I had the VIP thing, so we had the cocktail party, and he was there, and I was talking to him. Again, had no idea because I'd never heard of him. I mean, there were a lot of the people there, and just a super guy.
Well, I've got a proposal out to him for something right now.
Because he's from Canada.
Canada, yeah, on a podcast. So
okay.
He wouldn't have to do anything. And he'd only have to do an hour and a half of work with me a week. He'd make about $2,000.
Okay.
If he does an hour and a half work, that's the target. He's one of the guys. He is really, really good. I don't know how
he's heavy duty in the tech.
Yeah. I'm testing something. I don't know if he'll take it up. I'm going after a handful of folks, 4 people to do this. So it's tough though, all the laws, legalities, and all the things you have to follow.
Well, I know with our project here that we were kind of shut down for a little while because they needed to go back to the attorneys on some stuff. And
which project?
Just this one we're working on, this optimization of local leads for local businesses. So
yeah, I think that would work on these platforms.
No, what we're doing has nothing to do with any kind of. We don't have to be in any kind of platform, but I'm saying the lawyers get involved and we had to shut things down. Just what we were doing because it's a lot of it's just optimizing searches in local markets when people go to Google. So
you almost need a lawyer on your team.
Yeah.
So to make it work. Let's see, menu 1. So I'm going to add this. What I just did, I'm going to put the link in here. It's one of my old sites. I'm going to go marketing. marketing, marketing. So marketing, I'm going to put that in. That's all caps though. I'm right now. I'm on the fly. Oops, I don't want to do that. Google App Support. Let me get this real fast. Hi, this is Bill. Google App Support.
Hi, Bill. This is Nubia from Google Apps Technical Support. Is this a good time to talk to you?
Yep, I'm doing a blab. You know what that is, but it's fine.
Okay, great. Well, just before we continue, let me advise you that this call could be recorded for quality and training purposes. Okay.
That's fine because we're on Blab right now. So that's just blab.im, which is kind of fun. It's a streaming platform that I work on every day. And so anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, I received notification that you needed verification actually of charges for your account with domain conradteam.com. Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So